Hello, everybody. So, quite a scary open for MSTR. The stock appears to be recovering, but it was way down in the first 15 minutes of trading, and that's the S&P aftermath. And this is despite the fact that Bitcoin is doing quite well today. I bit slightly green. I mean, we'll take this performance of Bitcoin given that we're 6 weeks in absolutely nothing, absolutely no action, boring market. But the stock of strategy is down because of S&P aftermath. They didn't get in. Nobody was expecting them to get in, but yet the market works like that. There's so much misinformation out there. The MNAV, is dropping slightly again, and it's dropping slightly again because the stock price going down and the bag of Bitcoin is going up. This stock has increased. It's done a huge buy, $217 million. I'm calling this a huge buy. I'm calling this a huge buy for two reasons. Last week was a 4-day week, so less opportunity to ATM, less opportunity to sell preferred. And also, historically, the first week of September is the weakest week for markets. Historically, it is a really bad market that week, and we were still able to raise $217 million. And as Saylor said in that interview, which I'll get to in a second, he said this buy, it was actually bigger than their first buy of Bitcoin. And their first buy of Bitcoin included all of the savings that the company had been able to achieve in 30 years back in 2020. So this buy is a huge buy, in fact. It is bigger, like I said, than their very first buy of Bitcoin. I'm very happy to see that. And if we had had Monday, and if we had had a regular week with regular volumes, we probably would have been closer to 500 million, which 500 million, I think, is going to be roughly the run rate weekly if you average it out. If you look at the makeup of this week, of course, once again, we owe our major success this week to the ATM, to the MSTR ATM, to the sale of the common shares. The common shares are the best product of strategy. And, the fact that it caved in August to loud voices on the internet and we didn't ATM for 3 weeks, it just makes me so mad. Like the ATM was working, he changed course. He realized that, and he's back at the ATM. The ATM is working, but because people don't do the research, because people don't do the in-depth research, they can't even watch a 5-minute video. They can't even do back in the napkin math to understand why dilution is a very good thing. It's a very good thing. When you're saying at 1.5 MNAV, when you're selling a share of MSTR at 1.5 MNAV, you are making a 33% margin on your product, which is the issuance of the common equity of strategy. 33% margin. Right now, with that MNAV, we're a little lower. He probably made 28 or 27% margin. It's just fine. 27% margin on the new shares that you issue. It is absolutely wonderful. I want him to keep doing the ATM as long as we are in the ATM era, and we are in the ATM era. And most people still don't understand that. The other day, someone shared on one of my strategy videos, like a video from a channel, from a surface level analysis from someone with more than 1 million followers, like 1.2 million followers. I don't even understand how he can do such surface level analysis. This is another one. CNBC interview. Let me save you some time. If you watch my videos, you probably don't need to watch this CNBC interview. The lack of depth is absolutely stunning. People who cover this stock lack the depth of understanding of the stock. It is just so stunning. The first question is you're essentially a leveraged bet on Bitcoin. Strategy used to be a leveraged bet on Bitcoin in the early days, 3 years ago. 3 years ago. And Saylor goes to explain in there that they don't borrow against the Bitcoin anymore, that they've learned a lot in the bear market. It's not a leverage story anymore. In fact, the leverage is still part of the story. The leverage is a secondary story. And sure enough, look, it's 100% equity plus 12% debt plus 9% preferreds. And the preferreds are perpetual, which means they never need to be repaid. They never need to be repaid. You never need to repay the preferred. And And the debt is convertible bond, and the convertible bond will equitize. They will turn into equity. So the convertible bonds are like debts that will turn into equity. So it's just future dilution. And future dilution is just, surprise, surprise, equity. So leverage is a secondary story. It's an ATM story right now. Strategy right now is an ATM story. Most of the bag of strategy owns it to the common ATM, to the use of the MSTR ATM. Right, but he goes on that and he has to explain, and then the anchors act surprised that he didn't get included in the S&P 500, and we're talking about before market open. So what do you think with that audience? What do you think TradFi? What do you think Legacy do? They watch this, they're like, oh, it's a scam, it's a Ponzi, it's a scam. And they sell it off and he says there and too. He says, well, we didn't expect to get into S&P on the first go around. Well, yeah, people hyped that up for clicks. Like that was not going to happen. Like I don't think it's going to happen in December either. By the way, the S&P is notoriously slow. Okay, and it's notoriously geriatric. And it's gonna take a very, very long time. Bitcoin is heavily disliked, heavily hated in TradFi, and so obviously it's gonna take years to happen, and that's why the stock is dropping. And Saylor has patience, which is second to none, and he is an educator and he's a teacher, and I'm so impressed by his teaching and education skills on there. But inside, he must have been boiling. I know I would have been boiling on that set because the level of surface level analysis, like whenever you go to mass anything, and in this case we're talking about mass media, and some of the accounts who hyped up S&P 500 inclusion, you're talking about massive accounts. Like you have to dumb it down whenever you take it to something that's going to reach millions of people, and this is very, very unfortunate. So I'm sorry for a more opinionated video here today. Don't unsubscribe for that, please. But I am infuriated this morning. Like come on, do a little depth. Anyways, so this was not investment advice, not financial advice. This was just entertainment. Only entertainment. This is an entertainment channel. Please like, please subscribe, follow me on Patreon, follow me on X. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.